Hey Patrick, how are you doing?
Hey, Mark, yeah, I'm doing actually quite good. My feet just hurt a little bit, but I do have an appointment at the doctor next Monday, so yeah, I hope this will get better. But besides that, I think you have some nice weather, right, over
Hmm.
there, and
Yep.
yeah, the world is getting warmer again, so yeah, I'm doing quite good. How about you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm all right. Crypto was a bit crazy last week, so it was a little bit
Mm,
painful. But for the rest, I'm doing all right. You gave me some protein alpha, some skier, I guess. So
yeah.
I
Did you
you
buy it?
no, no, but I'm gonna buy it this weekend. I haven't
Oh,
gone to
cool.
the
Which one?
groceries yet. I'll just buy probably regular skier and try to eat it somehow
Uh,
with discipline.
so not the chocolate one, not the vanilla one,
No,
just
no, no,
the
probably not. Maybe the
natural
vanilla
one.
one, but yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, how are you doing for the rest? Anything
Yeah,
special?
no, just my feet keeps on bugging me. Like I said,
Hmm.
I did make one big change in regards to crypto. Maybe we can use this as a transition into our portfolio challenges that we had this week. I made a little bit of adjustment, I would say, in regards to my portfolio this week. Let me explain real quick. So, I basically the last time we made a snapshot of our portfolio, I was like, let's say, 60% ETH, 25% BTC, and then 15% the rest, so a little bit of Solana and then some altcoins. And I think on this Saturday, I decided to basically sell everything besides my BTC, my ETH, and my DFI. So DFI is the token DeFi chain from
Hmm.
Julian Hoss from Cake DeFi. This is company. And now I do have about 10% in stablecoins. So I do have yeah, quite a big stablecoin allocation. We were talking about this for months and weeks and so, and finally I did it. And yeah, for now I sold at the bottom, but that's fine because um, I can sleep better. I can focus more on things I would like to focus on. It feels that I'm not speculating that much on the prices. Even if the market goes down, it's nice because then I can buy back cheap later. If the market goes up, it's also nice because I'm do have about 92% exposure to the upside. So yeah, I feel like that I'm really relaxed right now, and I feel that it was an overdue decision. I was overexposed to crypto a long time, and it has so many upsides just to take a little bit chips off the table. I can do more yield farming, for example, some stablecoin yield farming, so I learn a lot right there. Obviously, when the prices go up, I don't have that much exposure, but that's yeah, that's okay. I want to protect my downside for now. And yeah, I do have a lot of fun actually, taking your sheets and thinking about stuff on how to make money with yield farming using different protocols, options protocols, vaults, and speculating on airdrops as well. See, I basically de-risk it all for now. I can give you more explanation why I did it, but this is a main change. I haven't done that big of a change for about 2 or 2.5 years by now. So yeah, some interesting thing I guess that happened to my portfolio. And yeah, any comment on this?
Um, how long did it take you to sell everything? Like, did you have it all on centralized exchanges, or did you have also some kind of DeFi things and things locked
Mm,
into contracts?
yeah, good question. So it took me about 2 days. Um, I had something on centralized exchanges. I had it spread all over the globe, basically on Polygon, on Ethereum mainnet,
Okay.
on Avalanche, on Binance Smart Chain, on Phantom, on Solana blockchain, on Aurora, on blah 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 blah. So different centralized exchanges, different blockchains, different wallets, different PCs, and I even touched my ledger. So yeah, I sold some of the things I would thought that I hold it for the long term, but yeah, I don't have that high conviction in it, and for now I do feel much better that I just hold things where I'm pretty sure I have high conviction. Even if we go down another 60, 70, 80% from here on, I will survive, and I think this is the main goal for now, just survive. And yeah, so yeah, I'm basically de-risk.
Did you also sell your Atom?
Part of it actually.
Okay, interesting.
I sold half of it because the other one is so I did held 50% of my Atom in my wallet. Um, and 50% is or was staked. And due to the unbounding of Atom, you need to unbound if you have staked it or delegated a stake for 21 days. You have to wait. And this is the reason why I don't sold, because I said, okay, don't panic right now, Patrick. You do this because you feel overexposed and you don't need to get out everything. And I feel good right now. About 10% in stablecoins, and whatever the market wants to do, it can do whatever it wants. It feels good. It feels good.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you found some peace, and you're faring pretty well under it. So that's
Yeah,
a
and
good
it
thing.
makes a lot of fun to use your
Mhm.
sheets.
I'm
Yeah,
glad.
what about you?
Yeah. So for me, I didn't really make any changes, so I didn't sell anything really. My portfolio did go down a lot, of course, because Illuvium went down to like $500,
Ooh,
and I think it was like maybe 750 or something before that. Um,
wow. So
so it went down a
50%
lot.
haircut.
So yeah, my portfolio has shrunk a lot, I think, but I
Wow,
haven't
damn.
calculated it yet. I will do it this weekend.
Are you sure
Because
that
it's
you want to do it?
yeah, I'm sure, because last year it took me it was quite hard to reconciliate my portfolio from month to month to see how I did, and
Mm,
I wanted to do better this year, so I can have a good idea of how my portfolio grew or shrunk in this case from month to month.
mm,
So yeah, what I did do is that whenever I'm yield farming, I'm harvesting into stables,
mm.
which is maybe a little bit illogical because why don't I just swap my other coins into stables then? But this is what I'm doing for now. I also bought a little bit more of Albridge because I still like it.
Mm,
So yeah, I'm still very bullish on it. So
mm,
I bought some more Albridge, and also I had a little bit of fiat to spare. So what I did is I bought some USDT and USDC on a new chain called METIS, and I will
mm.
explain a little bit more in the next section. And it's pretty interesting because to get to METIS, what I did is I sent my USDT from Solana to FTX, and then I swapped it for BNB, and then I withdrew it to the Binance Smart Chain, and then I swapped it for Metis, and then I bridged it to Metis.
Wow.
So it was quite a journey to get the money there. I'm still
Is there
underwater
no
for now.
bridge?
Sorry?
Is there no easier bridge? Metis seems to be quite on a run these days. No all bridge, no
No.
live finance, XYZ finance, and those aggregators.
I looked there. I could only find there's like a bridge that it goes from ETH, but then you pay a whole lot of money in gas. So I think there's two
Mm,
bridges that go from ETH. But I did, the official bridge and another bridge like Seller, I think Seller
mm,
Network. But yeah, I don't want to use it because the ETH gas fees are way too high.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
s-
true.
so that leaves me only, I think, two bridges that are from Binance Smart Chain to Metis, and one is called Poly Bridge, I think. And I gotta say, the experience was quite good with it. Really a smooth bridge. And the other one is, I think it's called like, yeah, it's like a DAO. It's like a bridge DAO, yeah,
Mm,
construction. I hadn't heard of it before, but it looks a little bit degen. And when I asked the question in their Discord,
mm.
I've never gotten so many scammers. It was like
Wow.
there's like piranhas in the river, and if you dip your toe in it, if you just, I asked just one little question, and I had like 8 DMs.
Direct messages. Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
so yeah, it feels a bit shady there. So yeah,
Mm,
this is what changed to a portfolio.
okay. So no real big relocations, just normal fluctuations and some bridging to Metis.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested in Metis, but you said that you will talk about it a little bit more later in this episode, right?
Yeah, sure. I can talk about it in the next section.
Yeah, then let's transition to the remarkable things, if that's fine for you.
Yeah, sure. So for me, one of the remarkable things is, well, I wouldn't call it that remarkable, but I've been finding that the yields on Solana are a little bit low for my taste.
Hmm?
And I have to say my tastes are a bit degen, so I'm expecting like 100% plus APRs on stables or on ETH or something. So that is pretty hard
Hmm?
to reach. And this is kind of hard to reach on Solana right now. So usually I would say it's more like 70% maybe to 90%, but it fluctuates. So I've been looking for chains that are a little bit more that have even higher yields than this.
Hmm?
And one of these chains is called Metis. And to be honest, I'm not too much into the technical stuff. I know that it's I think it's a layer two on Ethereum.
Hmm?
So the gas the gas fees are surprisingly high. I paid $2.50 for a swap.
Mm.
So I was kind of shocked when I bridged all my money there, and then I found
Mm.
out that the fees are so high. But they have something in the roadmap that will make it more efficient, just like Optimism has done as
Mm.
well in Arbitrum. So I think longer term it will be fine. And I know Vitalik's mother is involved with it somehow.
What?
Yeah, seriously.
Okay.
Vitalik was he also mentioned it on the up only, I think. So,
Interesting.
and I know that they are
I
pretty.
recall.
It's a pretty weird chain. So they're
Yeah.
they're also like really DAO oriented, and they also like incentivizing their own protocols. So part of the gas fees go back to the protocol. So it's kind of interesting for protocols to go there because they earn a good amount of money, if they have a good protocol that has a lot of volume. So
Mm.
yeah, it's an interesting chain, but mainly it has some pretty degen farms that you can have like 700% APR or 500% or so.
Mm.
I'm right now farming that, but I've only done it for a couple of days, so I don't have too much to tell.
Mm.
But in general, so I'm still let me see if I would rank my portfolio in terms of yield farming priority. Right now, Phantom is still my biggest allocation in terms of what I'm yield farming with, and then Solana and then Metis. So I have a small foothold with Metis, but not super huge. And
Mm.
I still like Solana the best out of all the chains. It's just that the yields are a little bit low right now, but they'll be better later on. And yeah, I'm still very bullish on Solana. So don't take this as I'm
Mm.
abandoning Solana or anything. It's just temporarily the yields are a bit low, but they will get better. I think also Abracadabra is coming to Solana soon, which is
Yeah.
from Daniele Sesta.
Oh, Daniele,
So
yeah, yeah.
I'm expecting there to be some more degen magic intent money based farms later on. So I think it'll be fine.
Mm. And
And
the experience over there on Metis,
yeah,
how is it? Is it comparable to Polygon? Is it comparable to?
what
Can
it
it?
reminds me of, Patrick, I'm not sure
Mhm.
if you had been on Phantom when it was very young, like
So Phantom with an F, the blockchain with the
the
Andre
blockchain. Yeah.
Andre Cornier one. Okay. Yeah.
Have you been on Phantom when Polygon just got popular?
So
Was
the first experience I had on Phantom was nah, I was
probably
a
like
little
August or
bit late.
something, July?
Maybe about maybe by August, maybe by August like
Okay,
this.
okay, yeah. So I think I was in there maybe
When Geist
July.
came out.
Oh, the guys was pretty late, I would say. Okay, okay. No, I was in there like a couple of months earlier, and the
Mhm.
transactions were super fast, super fast.
Hmm.
This is how Metis feels. So Metis feels basically like an empty chain. So if you do transaction, it gets filled
With high
immediately.
costs.
But yeah, like a super fast empty chain with high cost. So it feels to me like Phantom. Only Phantom had very cheap cost early
Hmm.
on in July or June, and Metis is really expensive, but it has the same kind of speed where everything gets instantly done. The only thing that was weird is that I thought, the gas fees are so high. Let me put in a lower GUI, and
Mm.
it seems
Ah,
it seems like the GUI is kept at a certain bound, and they cannot make it cheaper or something. So that
yeah.
is interesting about Metis.
I, Let me give you a quick learning I got from experimenting with the gas fees on my own.
Sure.
I did this on Optimism and Arbitrum as well. And after a couple of failed transactions, I was a little bit wondering why is it happening. And then they said, okay, don't play around with the gas fees. They are basically fixed. And if you adjust them on your own, transactions will fail and you will lose your ETH. So yeah, it may be the same that they
Okay.
actually have a fixed gas price and that you can't adjust it. And over time, they may adjust it to the upside or the low side. I think it's pretty interesting that you can adjust those fees on the Ethereum mainnet and on Polygon and stuff like this on the Phantom. But different layer twos, they have this kind of fixed structure. So yeah, try to ask in the Discord maybe. But I'm pretty sure, at least how it sounds, that they have a fixed structure as well, because you said that they have something on their roadmap to decrease the fees, right?
Yes. Okay. Well, it's good that you tell me, but I've already wasted some money now on
Yeah,
trying it a couple of times. But it's
yeah,
okay. At least
it's totally normal.
it's a lesson learned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for the rest, I'm also farming on Harmony and Aurora, but a
Wow.
tiny amount. Mainly Albridge. I'm staking it
Mm.
and I'm getting quite decent yields there. I finally
Mm.
managed to get some Harmony, by the way, and I used Synapse for that because Synapse is a bridge that gives you a little bit of the gas token on the place where you arrive, and I really love that about them.
Mm,
So this allows me to get some foothold of harmony, or like one, and
mm,
then swap it for more harmony.
mm,
And also harmony now it works with the MetaMask wallets, like the Ethereum kind of public keys. And it used to have this special like one kind of public key, which is like a different kind of key. But I think they somehow, I don't know, merged it or something. So now you can just use
uh,
Harmony like any other, like it was Polygon or whatever. So this is also kind of nice in the user experience.
mm, How do you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
No,
please.
sorry, no, go ahead, Patrick.
How do you? So actually, I started to taking yield farming a little bit more serious yesterday, because then I got around to do some yield farming, and I was trying to keep track of my funds, where I deposited funds, what's the value of it, and I'm basically only on Solana right now, and I'm wondering, when you are on so many chains and use so many things and are in so many pools and use so many farms, how do you keep track of it? Do you keep track of it?
Um, well, there are periods when I I keep track of it very well, and there are periods where I keep track of it quite
Mm,
poorly. So what I do at least is every transaction that I make on any chain, I write it down in a sheet so that I know at least what I did the last
mm,
time I did it. So this is one thing. This helps me, figure out where I put my money and stuff. So
mm,
this is one thing I do for sure. And then another thing I sometimes do, I do it usually more for the amounts that are a little bit bigger. So on Solana, I may do it, or on Phantom, for instance. I make a little sheet and it calculates my return compared to what I put in, and also it takes into consideration the time that has elapsed. So basically, I make a sheet that has like columns with okay, let's say today I farmed on Orca. So what
mm,
I do is I make a sheet, and it shows the deposits that I put into Apricot Finance, and then it shows how much my debt is on Apricot Finance to borrow Orca and BTC, and then it shows then I capture the LP when I initially deposit or pull together the two tokens, right? You pull it together
mm,
in the Orca into an Orca BTC pair. So I captured the numbers that it has, like so many tokens of Orca and so many tokens of BTC, because it will change over time, right? So you will get impermanent loss. And then when I take it out, I check the numbers again, and I also check the prices again, so I can see if I made, what
mm,
my impermanent loss is, and also what I would have made if I just kept them separately in my wallet. And also I check the harvest, that I do. Um,
mm.
yeah, so basically, I should show you the sheet
Wow.
sometime that I do, but this is what I
Yeah.
track. And I used to do it every day, but nowadays I'm a bit too busy, so I'm been doing
Mm,
it maybe like every couple of days or maybe once a week.
mm. It would be really interested in
Hmm.
this to see this. Because I tried it for, let's say, a couple of accounts and a couple of protocols, but just on one blockchain, and it takes my whole screen. So I don't know how to structure it in a good way. And maybe
Okay.
some of the listeners have the same issue, and they can learn from your structure. So I think it would be quite nice if we could do this in a visual way, someday, some way, shape, or form.
Sure, we can do it, but for me, it's also quite basic. Don't expect anything like a genius
Yeah,
spreadsheet. It's quite a basic thing, and I
yeah.
manually update it. So, yeah,
Yeah, the basic one are the best ones, but I think we can learn from your structure
sure,
maybe a little
sure.
bit. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I don't have anything else to comment on this. Do you have anything else that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, there was a post from Arthur Hayes.
Hmm.
He has a blog on bitmax.com, and Bitmax is like I think it's a centralized exchange, right, where you can also buy
Yeah.
and buy tokens and then go long and leverage with them
Hmm.
and stuff.
I,
So,
I I think they invented the perp futures.
oh, that's interesting.
Hmm.
That may very well be. I know that they have pretty bad liquidation engine, so you can have a lot of issues with them when the market goes down. But for
Hmm.
the rest, I didn't know that. And I knew that Arthur Hayes had some issues with the authorities, right? But for the rest,
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about his history. But anyway, he is a really good writer, and he has a blog this weekend. And I just want to give the TLDR because I thought it was kind of interesting.
Hmm.
In
Yeah,
his
sure, please.
in his interpretation, he said that the past weekend, while brutal, it hasn't broken the soul of the bulls. So
Mm-hmm.
this kind of surprised me a little bit because when I checked crypto Twitter this weekend and even Monday and also like earlier, um, people seemed really, really pessimistic. Like, yeah, really pessimistic.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe my bubble is different than his bubble or something. But I
Mm-hmm.
thought this weekend has broken the soul of many people, and a lot of people think we are in a bear market now. So I found it kind of a little bit disturbing that and that in his opinion, we're heading probably even lower.
Mm-hmm.
And another point that he made was that the the institutions they haven't yet sold it yet because they don't work on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So because this was more of a weekend dump, he expects there to be a weekday dump at some point when institutions will actually start selling. So yeah, so maybe it's not a bad idea to be in stable subject.
Yeah. Um, I think it's you nailed it when you said what bubble do you live in? I can give you a lot of nuances from my friends, from my high net worth individual context, from my own feelings, from the people I'm surrounded with, and breaking the soul is a hard definition, my friend. Breaking the soul means like people give up on their dreams, from my definition at least, and I think you need to go down to 4K, 5K BTC to break souls. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what his definition is, but for sure I do see people start capitulating, and yeah, this is a sign I think where the bottom is not that far away. I can imagine that the bottom will be at 20K or so, or 15K if the Nasdaq decides to go for a real big dump and goes down 30%. I think it's done now down 20%. So I think the correlation is quite high. But I think if you take a look at all the midterm election stuff and yeah, I think that there is a really low chance that we will go to minus 30% from the Nasdaq because then we will have a really deep decline. Do you have any idea on how far the SPY and the Nasdaq went down at the COVID dump?
I think less than 30% from what I recall.
Yeah, I'm not that sure 100%, but I think it was somewhere a bit in that area, so around 30%. But yeah, I think that's really max pain. That's capitalism. Cap. What is the word?
Um,
Cap.
yeah, capitulation.
Yeah, people give
So
up basically,
yeah, yeah.
and then the liquidations come in, and then there will be a big bounce. But yeah, I think Arthur has his point. But also, please take it with a grain of salt. I've been in marketing for 10 years by now, so and I know how marketing works, and people are getting triggered more and more by fear than by the upside. And I think he has some good arguments. He nailed it over the last couple of weeks, so people give him more recency bias. But I think yeah, I think he's also doing it for hyperbole to get more attention, I guess, to get more subscribers, to get more view on his brand. So take it with a grain of salt. He's just one person with one thought. He's not a market.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Anything else?
Nothing remarkable with regards to this week for the rest,
Okie
in my
dokie.
view.
Yeah. Then let me give you my 2 cents.
Sure.
I would like to give a quick speech for let's say 5 minutes or so. Because I noticed something in the social media realm, and I would like to give you and our listeners a quick update. So I'm noticing the following. So I've been in crypto for over 4 years by now, so almost 4.5 years. And over this time, most of the time we were bullish. Social media was like, okay, this is the next 100x altcoin. This is the next coin that will go to the moon. This is the next country that will adopt Bitcoin. This is the next blah 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 blah. But I'm not quite sure if you noticed it as well, Mark. But quite a few people I started follow quite a few people I'm following started developing content for bearish markets. So they gave explanations on how to play the bear market, like protecting your downside, how to short the market, and yeah, what are the upsides on a bear market. So I think it's quite interesting because it is basically an agreement on the bubble I'm in, where people agree that we are in a bear market. And the last time we were in a bear market, 2018, 2019, people did not agree, honestly. It was more like, okay, prices will go up again. Now this is a healthy recovery and we will go up again. But now people tend to agree, and obviously, if you play out the game theory, if people agree, then they will front run because there is no downside. And then there won't be a big bear market. So um, I think just from an observation point of view, people are agreeing on it and start making content about it is super interesting. And I also noted something which is super interesting, and I would like to highlight this. So I'm a Bankless Pro subscriber, and they gave out a newsletter this week, which is called 5 Reasons to be Excited for the Bear Market. And I was just like, okay, nice guys, nice title, nice clickbait, let's read it. So I would like to give you some points if we are in a bear market right now. And I think bear market comes all down to sentiment. If we all agree that we are in a bear market, we are in a bear market, but there's no real definition like, okay, this is a bear market because we are down like 20%, 30%, 15%, different definitions. It comes more down to sentiment. But I would like to give you and our listeners maybe some points if we are in a bear market where there is some upside to gain besides that the prices will go sideways or downwards. Are you interested in hearing those points?
Yeah, of course.
Okie dokie. So again, cheers to Bankless. I think those are pretty good points. The first one is actually that in a bear market, the long-term wealth gets created. So in a bull market, imagine you hold your Illuvium and it's about $1,500 per token. How much can it go up? 2x, 3x, 5x? I have no idea. But if you're in a bear market and prices will decline a lot, you have the chance to buy in coins where they have 100% upside potential. And I've witnessed this a couple of times over the last couple of years, and this is a good sign. If you're obviously 100% exposed to Bitcoin or to crypto, you don't have that dry powder on the side, but a bear market has some upsides because then you can take positions into high convictions bets like you did in Illuvium way on, and then it can skyrocket. So to create long-term wealth, really big wealth, the bear market is almost needed. The next one is that you have a higher chance of developing long-term relationships. I think in a bear market, people are in there because they want to achieve something. They have genuine interest. They want to build something at the most of the times, and they're not here to make a quick buck and then get out. So I think you have a higher chance of connecting with people who are here to stay. The third one is that there is more signal than noise. So the difference between signal and noise is that everything wants to grab your attention. The next curve clone, the next NFT drop, the next blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of noise. And if we go into a bear market, or if we are in a bear market, if we are in a period where there's more silence, you get more signal. So signal is like information you get, where it actually has fundamental information where you can act upon. So let's say, for example, a protocol generates that much revenue, and it's not just a pure speculation on hype. I think this is super good. So you can position your portfolio more from a fundamentally good point of view. The fourth one is building. So you have less distractions. So if there are no coins that are mooning every day and you try to play the rotator game, you can focus more on things that that you can build up. So you don't just think all the time about, okay, what is the next coin? What is the next hype? You focus on the fundamentals and you could build up your own thing. You can build up a podcast. You can start reading up on things. You can build up a YouTube channel. You can go into communities because it's more silence. And the last one is, you know the rapper Kanye West, right?
Yep.
And he has this song or this phrase, what does not kill you make you stronger. This stronger song, this stronger song. And I think that.
Or is it another song?
Yeah, I think they made
remix,
a remix, something along those lines. This I could sing right now, but I think our listeners wouldn't appreciate it if I go this one. It's basically the theory what does not kill you make you stronger, and I believe in this, and because I witnessed it multiple times right now, and I think there are things out there that will most likely die. They will get abandoned, they will lose momentum, they will lose traction, and people will go somewhere else. But I think things that will survive right now, they will be around for the long term. BTC is the number one. It has been for so many years. One day it might not be, but I'm pretty sure that BTC will survive. Ethereum will survive. And if you compare those top 20 coins from 2017 to today, I think just 4 or 5 are around and the rest are declining, declining, declining. So I think if you have high conviction bets and they survive, you have a really good chance to get wealthy. So those are the 5 points basically. You can create long-term wealth because then you can buy back in cheaper. You can build long-term relationship with people who are in there here to stay. You have more signal than noise. You can focus on building things because you have less distraction. And the last one is, I think this won't kill us, and so it makes us stronger. And when then we have a better foundation to build upon for the next hype cycle that will come, for sure, my opinion. Yeah. What do you think about this? Any comment?
Yeah, I think most of the points I agree with. I just disagree with the point that there's more signal in a bear market because I think this is just recency bias from 2017 or something when nothing was going on almost. So of course there's more signal because almost nothing is going on.
Mm,
But nowadays the market is there are so many segments of the market, there are so many protocols, so many things happening. Even in a bear market, there will still be way more noise than signal because I think crypto is a little bit like TradFi in a bear market. You know, when there's TradFi in a bear market, you still have a whole lot of noise and almost no signal.
mm,
So I think crypto has become too big to have silent periods where there's
mm.
no noise and all signal. For the
Yeah,
rest,
yeah.
I agree with those points.
So I think we mean the same. Just more signal than noise, but obviously there will always be noise, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's really hard to find a signal in general.
yeah.
Like what would be a signal right now? Is it the bear market? Is it just a leg down?
Mm.
We, I can't, I don't know what the signal is.
I can tell you one signal, but it would be a bad signal.
hmm
If the ETH merge happens and there will be a bug, so this will be a signal.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so big ones, I guess. But yeah. Or if the Fed decides to raise the rate like 8 times this year, not just 3 to 5, I think those are signals. And yeah, but the rest, there's so much noise still there in there, and I think
Yeah.
noise is also good because because noise makes people stay around. I think it's also necessary to have noise because it's not just for everyone about the fundamentals and the long-term stuff. Some people are here to speculate, and I think it's good that they actually get some noise and get some joy out of it.
Yeah, I mean, without noise, there wouldn't be alpha, I think. So you
Yeah,
need to have noise to have signal and to have,
yeah, true.
opinion, tokens that do really well and that you pick, like you pick out the diamonds in the rough, basically, and the rough is all
Yeah,
the noise. So I think it's just a natural thing.
yeah, I
One
agree.
thing that I'm also curious about, though, is that you mentioned that there's a little bit more bearish content. I know that, for instance, Taiki has some video on how to farm in a bear market, and I also know that I think the calculator guy, or maybe one of these other
Mm.
YouTubers, has some videos. Yeah, I'm still struggling to, maybe the market usually goes like opposite, of what you expect. So maybe
Mm.
when a lot of people are preparing for a bear
Yeah,
market, they are not taking enough risk, and maybe, that's
yeah,
actually the seed for a bull market. So
yeah. That's exactly my point. It's super weird that so many people agree upon it, and I've never witnessed that so many people agree upon it, and I have no idea what this means.
yeah, yeah, me neither. So.
Mm.
Yeah, for now I'm just in stables until I try to find a little bit more of a signal. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's so difficult either way.
yeah. I think the next couple of months are just here to survive, and then we will go up again.
Yep.
It's just not the time to make the big bets, at least for my personal taste. But you do you, I do me, and yeah, we will see.
hmm
I do have one additional question for you in this regards, but you
Sure.
scratched upon it already. I was wondering, what is the sentiment on Twitter? So you said that people are getting pessimistic. Can you elaborate on this a little bit, please?
Um, well, I don't know if you know DJ Spartan.
Yeah, I heard about him. Yeah.
Yeah, he basically posts a lot of bearish news and like stablecoin jokes and stuff.
Mm,
And um, like I usually don't follow him because he posts too much in my view. So like too many tweets
mm,
per day, and I don't like that. I like more signal instead of noise. Speaking of
mm,
your earlier topic, but like in bearish times like nowadays, I really enjoy to follow him just for the humor of it.
mm,
But I also noticed that he was getting a lot of because he's making jokes about bear markets and stuff the whole year around, right? And about stablecoins and these kind of things. But people were actually like threatening him now and stuff and becoming really angry at him.
Threatening.
Yeah. So he retweeted some of the things that he got, some of that thing. So
Wow,
that gives you
that's
just
fucked
an
up.
idea of that people can't take a joke anymore, right?
Mm.
People are really hurt at the moment. So this was like one signal for me that yeah,
Mm.
people are quite bearish. Yeah, another one, of course, is the videos. Like when you see all the YouTubers make videos on how to prepare for a bear market. That's also
Mm.
like another way that I found it out. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's really one barometer. It's just in general when the majority of the sentiment of the tweets are negative. Like if I
Mm.
ran like an sentiment analysis, with machine learning or something, it
Mm.
would probably show me that it's a pretty bearish sentiment just by the way
Yeah.
people phrase things, the type of things they tweet. Yeah, basically these kind of things. But
Mm.
it's not a science. It's like more of an art to get a feeling of
Yeah, for
risk.
sure. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So it seems to be really much the same, but a little bit more toxic than in the realms where I'm around. On YouTube, where I'm mostly around, people are friendly and not that toxic. But
Hmm.
okay, I think it's pretty much the same, I guess.
Yeah, on Twitter it's more like a lot of drama at the moment, even more
Yeah,
than
it's,
normal.
threatening people is this is the most toxic thing I can imagine, most likely on Twitter. Besides being racist and stuff like this, I think that's absolutely no go. Yeah, but okay, that's my own opinion. I shouldn't comment this on a podcast, but I think that's a no go.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, okay, do you want to transition to things that excite us?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I do have a question for you, my friend, and this is something that gets me really excited. Um, but maybe before we go into this topic, you've mentioned that you've switched some of your funds to other chains, and our Solana challenge, portfolio challenge is called the Solana Yield Farming Challenge, Solana challenge basically. And before I ask my question, could you give our listeners maybe a little bit explanation on what this means for our Solana challenge that you transition to other chains, and what does this mean for our feed that you develop every single day?
So with regards to the Solana Youth Farming Challenge, the original challenge was that we started with, I think, 5 Sol, and then we took a look at, how much we could increase our portfolio value. And one of the rules we established earlier on is that Solana is our benchmark, but that we can deviate to other chains if we want. We can bridge somewhere else if we think the yields are better there. But we have to take into consideration all the costs that we make, of course, to bridge.
Mm.
So right now, with regards to the Solana challenge, I'm still on Solana. I haven't bridged anywhere, partially because the gas fees are quite high right now. Even on Phantom, they're quite high. Um, I could go to Aurora, for instance, but Aurora doesn't have a borrow lending protocol yet, and there aren't that many great bridges, I would say. So right now, I don't. If you have a small portfolio like 5 Sol, I don't really see a valid option yet to move somewhere else where the yields are significantly higher, especially
Mm.
considering that the gas fee on Solana is so lovely low. You won't find it on anywhere else almost. So yeah, for now, yeah, and longer term, we're still very bullish Solana. So I'm sure
Mm.
there will be another DeFi wave at some point. So yeah, this is what it means with regards to the challenge. So we can move anywhere, but Solana is going to be our benchmark, and we will probably return there at some point.
Okay.
What was your second question again?
You mentioned you publish this sheet every single day on your Twitter account where people can follow you and to get an information on where they get the best yield on Solana. What about this sheet? Will you continue with it? Will you add to it? What's your idea behind this?
Yeah, I plan to continue with it and to add to it if there are any new farms coming out. Lately, I haven't really found any new farms, Patrick, but maybe
Mm.
I'm just not looking closely enough. But I'm following like Solana Daily and these kind of Twitter accounts, and there's nothing really coming out as far as I'm aware that has like a farm or a staking
Mm.
pool that is DeFi oriented, not some kind of gaming thing or some kind of what do you call it, launchpad or something. So
Mm.
the reason why I don't add many protocols lately is because I don't think there are that many new protocols to be added. But I will continue. I will keep this up to the sheet. So yeah, no worries about that. And also, yeah, we're also working on something in this regard, Patrick. So, but that is, to be announced still.
Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thank you for this explanation. Um, I think it was a good setup because one thing that gets me excited this week is the question I'm having in my mind. So I do have about 10% in stablecoins right now. And I get so much benefit out of your sheet, so much valuable advice, information, whatever you want to call it, inspiration. So obviously nothing is financial advice, yada, yada, yada. But I do get a lot of information out of your sheet. And I'm wondering, imagine, Mark, you have 10% of your portfolio in stablecoins, right? Imagine 10%. And how would you yield farm with them? What would you do? Would you split it up? How would you take different risk calculations? How would you go about this 10%? Would you put it on an anchor and get 20% and be fine? How would you go about this?
Yeah, that's quite tricky because 10% is quite a big allocation for stablecoins. I don't have that, not even close to that. So with that kind of allocation, you probably want to be pretty careful and pretty conservative. So you shouldn't farm into too degen things like I'm doing with like a Sol Yard and net swap and these kind of things. So with this kind of allocation, what I would probably do is split it across chains probably. Because I think you don't want to bridge too much. I think, if you have such a big amount, if you bridge it, then your bridge fees are quite high, I think. So you don't want to keep bridging it back and forth. So what I would do is probably pick a couple of chains that you really like and that you think are good to yield farm with, and split your allocation across those chains basically, and also across different wallets. And then, yeah, like it depends a little bit. Like if you really yield farm for your own as your own income, as your let's say you don't have a job and you're just yield farming, then I would be a lot more conservative than if you get a paycheck and you're yield farming on top of it.
Yeah, good point, really good point.
If it's basically your income that you live off, I would definitely be a lot more conservative, and especially with, for instance, the borrow lending protocols, because I like to put like all my portfolio into these borrow lending protocols, but some of them have quite risky parameters. So I'll probably be a little bit more conservative. And for instance, on Solana, I would probably go with something like Jet, which is very conservative, instead of something like Larix, which has quite degen, loan to value parameters. So you would have to take that into consideration as well. And in addition, take into consideration the farms that you're on. So if you are doing it as a living, I probably wouldn't put too much money on Sol Yard, for instance, or what's that other borrow lending protocol that came out, like not Mercurial, maybe the
Solend?
Sorry?
Solend is also out there.
No. There's one that is like it is really crappy, and it is recently they have updated the website and now it's decent, but it's still kind of crappy. I think it's got symmetry, but I'm not sure. But anyway, so you would also spread it out across a little bit more reputable farms. So for instance, Orca is perfect, like what I did today, where I put money in Apricot and farms on Orca. I think that's quite good. But I think Solent is even better, to be honest. Like if you ask me to rank it in terms of conservativeness, I would say number 1 is Jet, number 2 is probably Solent, number 3 is Apricot, and number 4 is Larix. So yeah. And farms, I would say probably number 1 is Radium, number 2 is Saber, number 3 is Orca, and then it becomes a little bit more degen. You get like Cropper and stuff. So this is probably how I would split it.
And what's the reasoning behind splitting it up on different chains? Why not focus on one chain?
Because if you split it up on multiple chains, you're also a little bit more diversified in terms of the gas token. Let's say Phantom does outperform Solana, and you have everything on Phantom and or min everything on Solana, and you use Sol and USDC as your portfolio wallet pairs, then you may drastically underperform some other chain. And usually there's some hype going on into one chain and then it moves on to the next one, right? So if you keep everything in one chain, you may have a period of like where the yields are not super great.
I understand.
So yeah, it has upsides and downsides, to be honest. I can see definitely benefits of focusing on one chain and becoming like really good with one chain. For instance, like Will's friends, right, or something. Like he knows a lot about what's going on with the chain, all the new hot protocols and stuff. So yeah, you could make a case to just focus on one chain as well, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's just
perfect.
more from a risk perspective, actually. Like let's say Solana has something, some catastrophe. It really goes down, and the FBI raids Anatoli's
Yeah.
headquarters. Then you're screwed. Whereas if you had spread it out a little bit, then you're a little bit more safe.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, thank you. I got
Sure.
I got some notes. I took some notes, and I will reflect on them. Maybe I can give you and our listeners an update next week on what I did and what I'm doing and how I feel. Because I think it's a journey that yeah, most likely a lot of us will go down the road. At first, we speculate on BTC, then we go to Ethereum and stuff like this. Then we go down the risk curve, and one day we will find out, okay, DeFi is also nice to use. And then how do you use DeFi? And yeah, so yeah, thank you for this. Really good advice.
Cool.
Yeah, do you want to transition to our Solana challenge?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, okay. Do you want me to start? Do you want to start?
I'll start. So
Okay.
this week I've been a little bit busy, so I haven't reallocated my portfolio as often as I would like to. So even though there were some better farms some days, I was too tired to swap them out basically, because I generally do my yield farming late in the evening after I finished all my chores. So what I'm in right now, oh no, when we took the snapshot, what was I in? Oh yeah, I was in Solyard. I've been in there before. I was in the
Mm.
Serum Radium pair. So what I did is that I deposited money on Larix because Larix has relatively low rates on their Radium borrower rate. It's about
Mm.
40% from the top of my head, where usually it's around
Very
60 to 80.
mm.
So Radium, you can make really good money lending out your Radium, by the way. So yeah, Radium is
Yeah.
still kind of, it's amazing how it's so you can get such high yields for so long on Radium. But yeah,
Mm.
so basically, I was supplying my USDC and my Sol, and I borrowed Radium and Serum, and then I pulled them together into a Radium, and then I staked that pool into Sol Yard. And then I get a token called Yard, and it's a very, very degen crappy token that's like less than a fraction of a cent. So yeah, I yield farm with that mainly this week. And my portfolio dropped in dollar terms from 837 to 702. So I lost about 135 bucks. Um, but I outperformed Solana.
Yeah.
Solana went from 140 to 90. Um, so yeah, my Solana value of my portfolio increased from 5.96 to 7.75. So it's a huge jump in terms of
Mm.
Sol value. But then again, yeah, I still feel underwater in terms of, yeah, I am underwater in terms of dollars. So
Mm.
yeah, maybe it's not the best thing to have Sol as your benchmark.
You do have about 50% in stablecoins right now, right?
Yeah, I think a little bit more to be honest. Maybe like 60 to 70%.
Mm. What's your plan? Would uh,
You mean when will
when?
I swap back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Patrick. I've been thinking that as well. I need to swap back to Solana at some point.
Mm.
But yeah, I have no way of timing the market to be honest.
Mm.
So I don't have a good plan of when to swap back. Um,
Mm.
I don't have a clear picture of how the market will go either. So
Mm.
it's really difficult to time it. Like I think what will happen is that Solana will go up at some point and you'll start catching up, and then I'll be in doubt whether I should swap my stables back to Solana or not,
Mm.
And I don't know how to
Yeah.
handle that situation, to be honest.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Mm.
And how did you
Yeah.
do, Patrick?
Yeah, I did absolutely amazing. So, irony off. So, last week I was at 650 bucks, and this week I'm at 430. So I lost roughly 220 bucks. So, I managed to outperform you again by a wide margin this week, in regards to losses. So I think I'm really good at making losses. Um, I increased my Sol portfolio a little bit from 4.81. No, from 4.65 to 4.81. So plus 0.16. And how did I increase it? I basically have about 25 to 30% coins which are not Solana, and those decreased less than Solana. They also decreased, but less than Solana. So this is why I have a little bit more Solana, because I yeah, managed to dump less than the Solana did. And yeah, on one other note, um, I go about the Solana yield farming challenge for now that I try to get yield, and I also try to speculate on airdrops. And one of the things I did, and unfortunately I have to say I did, was that I had some money on Drift Protocol. Drift Protocol is a protocol where you can go short or long different assets. And I went long on Solana about, let's say, 6 weeks ago or so. And Solana was at $190 roughly, maybe 200. And I went 2x long because I said, okay, nice, making some yield. If it goes up and if it goes down, man, I lose a little bit. But I think Solana will hang around at roughly 200, and my liquidation price is at 90, so there's no way I need to worry about this. And over the last couple of weeks, we saw what Solana did. And Solana actually dipped down to, I think, the high 70s. And this is where I got liquidated. So yay! This was roughly 10% of my portfolio. So I basically lost 10% of my whole portfolio due to the speculation on the airdrop and the going long part. I think the learning out of it is the following. I would do the speculation again in regards to airdrop hunting and going long. But I think that I've missed the point of getting back out, and not because of hindsight that I know Solana went down and I could get liquidated. I basically know how those airdrop hunting games work out most of the times, and those perp protocols, they usually work like this. You open up a position, and then you pay a fee, and then they basically have a fancy calculation, and this is the transaction volume that they have on the platform. And most of the times, it does not take into calculation on how long you have an open position. So this is where I went a little bit wrong. I was a little bit greedy and thought, okay, Solana went from 190 to 150. Now it will go up to 200, and this is awesome because I'm 2x long. But then it decreased. And this is basically the learning I get out of it. So I forgot basically how to play the airdrop hunting game. It got more into a speculation game, and speculation games are things that, yeah, if you want to play them, be my guest, but I think there's nothing I want to do. So this is where I missed the exit, and then, yeah, I basically, was on hopium that the markets will go up and I won't get liquidated. And I can tell you, my friend, when Solana was at 190, $200, when you see your liquidation price at $90, you feel super safe. Let's say, for example, you would go 2x long on BTC and you see your liquidation price at 18,000. So below the last all-time high, you would think that that's a safe liquidation price for now, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and I felt the same, and it was totally wrong. So yeah, maybe some learnings, and this is for what's the challenge for, right? To
Yeah,
learn
of course.
things, not to make that much money. Then it would be called the 5,000 Solana challenge and not the 5 Solana challenge. But yeah, I think this is super good learning. I took out of it, and hopefully you and the listeners take something out of it as well. So if you want to speculate on airdrops, I think it's fine. But please remind yourself once upon a time how to play those airdrop games, and don't lose your plan and find yourself in a situation where you're not more airdrop hunting, you're more speculating. And yeah, that's basically it. So I lost a lot of money in US dollar terms. I gained a little bit of Solana, and yeah, I'm basically now in a position where I have good allocations for the rest of my portfolio, and I'm pretty sure that one day we will surpass the all-time high of our portfolio, but not within the next couple of weeks, I guess. Besides, I get an airdrop.
Yeah, who knows? You may get some gigantic airdrop.
Yeah, this must be a good airdrop.
And with regards to the liquidation, did you not like check on your position during the week when you saw the market going down so much? Like, what was your thought process there?
My thought process was that I felt comfortable not knowing the prices, so I checked the prices like once every 5 days or so. And this is the reason why I lost a little bit of sight of it, because whenever I saw the prices, I felt a little bit anxious because I know basically where the market went. It went down, and if I don't see it, it don't happen, right? So this is what why I didn't check it that often, because it was more like a lifetime EV thing, which is also another thing I got out of it. Don't take bets which take a mental toll, a toll on your mental health, and this was one thing, basically.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, okay. I don't have anything else that you would like to discuss. Maybe we can wrap it up. What about you?
No, let's wrap it up, man.
Okay, perfect. Then, it was the last episode of January. The next week we will talk about our portfolio challenge, and not our portfolio challenge, our overall portfolio. Till then, take a look at Twitter. Mark is releasing awesome stuff, awesome yields. And if you're looking for some yield farming right now, if you do have some tokens and want to get 10%, 100%, sometimes even more than 100%, Mark gave me some really big alpha yesterday for 800% on Orca BTC. But yeah, you need to take a look at the sheet. And yeah, take care, guys. Have an awesome weekend. Till next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.